I'm Jamie Hooper with the Home Advantage team in RE/MAX Crest, and we're going to review the Greater Vancouver real estate statistics today. But before we do that, we'd just like to remind you, if you get any value from these videos, enjoy them at all, maybe click the thumbs up button, make a comment, or even subscribe to our YouTube channel. So the title of this video is Statistics Don't Lie Except in Vancouver. And what do I mean by that? Well, let's talk about the detached housing market first. But before we do that, I just want to remind you about list to sell ratios as we see them in Vancouver. So if you ever see a list to sell ratio, which we're going to talk about in a few minutes, above 20%, that means that it is a seller's market and we are in seller's market conditions. And so what we will also see in seller's market conditions, if it stays that way over a long period of time, is prices will rise. If you see that the ratio for properties sold is between 12 and 20%, well, what happens in that is that means we've got an equal amount of buyers and sellers, and prices typically stay flat. And then the third type of market is a buyer's market, and that means if less than 12% of the properties sell in any month, then if it stays that way for a continued amount of time, property prices will devalue. So last month, the overall list to sell ratio in the Lower Mainland for detached houses was 16%, telling us that we are in balanced market territory. Well, that's just not completely true. And it's not that the media is lying to you or the real estate board's lying to you. When we dissect these numbers a little further, we find out that we have extreme sellers markets in certain areas. Look behind us and you see, for instance, the West Side, only 12% of the properties on the West Side sold last month. Well, actually, below $4 million, if you've got a property listed below $4 million on the West Side, the markets are real hot. We're getting close to all-time high prices on the West Side. East Side, it's very busy, up to $2.75 million. Richmond, Ladner, and Tawasin, all up to $2.25 million. All of these markets have extreme sellers markets in the lower parts, except for West Vancouver. That's the only exception. So there's also one other thing. There's another sign that I'd like to show you here for properties in the slower parts of the market and how you pick it out. Whenever you see the median days on the market getting longer, like you see up in Tawasin 28% and North Van 33%, or I should say 28 days on market, and West Van 33 days on market, that's the sign of a slower market. When you see the median days on market on the West Side at 9 days, that tells you that the market is busier than you would think it would be. So let's also have a look now at this next graph, which is the condo and townhouse market. Because the price of a detached house has gotten so expensive over the last 3 or 4 years, you can see the list to sell ratios on all of these areas. With the exception of downtown, they're all in seller's market conditions. Downtown, anything below 1.5 million is extremely busy and it is a seller's market there, just like the other ones. So the long and like I said, the moral to the story here is statistics do lie sometimes, and in the Greater Vancouver market, until you dissect them down a little further than we get from the media, you're going to get some of these things. I'm Jamie Hooper with RE/MAX Crest and the Home Advantage team, and we'll be back to you with another video soon.